Hey, what up guys? It's DestroyYesterday here again. Today we're gonna do part 2 of the getting started tips for success here. And next, there's a couple things yesterday from the video that I made that I missed. That video was already getting pretty long, so I didn't really want to make it any longer. So here we go. Something that I failed to go over was how refining works. You see there's a refiner here. It's fairly simple. It doesn't need to be charged with carbon or condensed carbon. Condensed carbon will be charged with much less than regular carbon. So No Man's Sky Next has introduced the ability to get one resource and change it into another one, or sometimes two different other resources. Now each of those resources can be found in the wild or around a planet per se, except for a few. Chromatic metal cannot be found anywhere. It is only made by other metals here. As you look here what it says, it can be made from copper, cadmium, emerald, and indium. Now if you remember from Atlas Rises, there were different minerals for different star systems. So yellow, red, green, and blue. As you can see here, they are listed in that exact same color. Alright? The better the mineral, the quicker and more chromatic metal it will convert to. Alright? So you just simply stick it in here. So let's find... So I don't actually have any at the moment because I turned it into chromatic metal already, but that's how that works. You need chromatic metal, 25 each, to plant a plant, no matter what plant it is, except for copperite and mortite. Alright, here, let me show you. It's always easier to see something than for someone to tell you. So we look here, see, chromatic metal. Looks like you don't need it for sac venom. Gravitational ball. You do need, actually, sorry, it's the top there. And so just sac venom. Excuse me, I was wrong there. You need it for everything but sac venom. All right, so that is very important to always have that with you. An albumin pearl. Looks like you don't need it. Okay. So keep that in mind. It's always good to carry around some chromatic metal. You can also change something from one to another. So for instance, if you have oxygen, you can convert it to carbon. If you have carbon, let's put this back in my exosuit, which I don't have any because I spent it all. It'll do it backwards too. So you can experiment with this. A lot of different things can be created from using this refiner. It's a little bit of a grind, but that's how that works now, and that becomes very important. You will need this. All right. Something they've changed a little bit too is the signal booster that I didn't really quite go over yesterday in the other video. You can pick it up like the refiner with the circle or any of these things, but they've changed it now. If you want to find something, you have to have certain items. Navigation data will help you find the monoliths and like observatories and manufacturing facilities, things like that. This will just do anything nearby. Obviously, it says locate nearby structures, and you will need a drop pod coordinate data to find a drop pod now. So they make it a little bit more difficult for you to find all these things, which I guess kind of makes sense. So keep that in mind. That is all pick-upable. See here with circle, you can pick it up and move it anywhere you want without losing any of your resources. Or if you just want to go on the run and look for something as you move around. Alright? Next thing is the melee boost. Now, many people who play this game know what the melee boost is, but for those of you who are new, if you simply tap melee, or the, for PS4 it's R1, the melee button, and then your boost, you will jump forward as you're running, watch. And go farther. Makes traveling on foot a lot quicker than just running. So, that's extremely helpful. Alright, so another thing, when you're out on foot, there are usually resources that sometimes can be hard to find. Now, some plants, so if we look here, as you see here, primary element is carbon. This one doesn't have two. Some though, like this tree here, has two different resources you can get from it. Now, if you look here, see, this is what it will look like if you haven't scanned it yet. It'll say analyze there at the bottom with question marks. That means there is another resource in that mineral or resource that you can get only if you scan it. You have to scan it, otherwise you will not get that second resource. Alright? So if you're having trouble finding Starbolt, for instance, well, you find, because you may not know exactly what it looks like. Of course, you can go online and look for what it actually looks like. Or, you can just simply scan a tree, and you will get some of it from each tree. It depends. I think it's just a random generation on how much it gives you, but it's anywhere between 1 and 10 resource for the second element per thing. So this is what happens when you scan it. So we know that there's pure ferrite in there already, and paraffinium is the second. So if you get that, it will give you paraffinium now. Now, a little disclaimer when you do this. If you're looking for that second resource, and that's solely what you need, do not shoot the big ones. They take forever to destroy, and they only give you 1 or 2 of the second resource. Now, I can't show you on here because my plant doesn't have any, but here's one. Little rocks. If you scan a little rock, so there's sodium in that one. They all have different things in them. So this one's the second too. Let's see what's in this one. Starbolt is in that one. These will break a lot quicker. This one not so much, but this one will. Boom. Alright, so the little rocks will break a lot quicker and give you the second resource in them. They're not so much seen on lush planets as much as they are on like fungal planets and radioactive planets. There's little rocks everywhere. You break those, they can be broken in a second, and they give you the exact same amount of second resource as these huge ones. So, don't waste your time with these big ones if you need the second resource. Alright, so uranium, ammonia, those ones that you need for planting are going to be in there. So, along with that, let's go into planting. Farming. This is not going to be an in-depth, detailed version of farming. Alright, this is just a brief overview of how it works and what might be best. I will make another video kind of more in-depth about it, but after you do the base missions, you will get all of the things you need for the plants, the recipes. Now, next, this is the one thing about next that I actually do not like one bit, is how they change the plant recipes. I don't know about you, but a rock and a piece of metal does not make a plant. That's my opinion. And that's what they changed it to for every single plant. It is no longer just, oh, you have fungal mold, you can now plant 10 fungal molds because you have 1,000 fungal molds. No, that's not how it works anymore. You have to find the minerals and then refine, in that refiner over there, chromatic metal to plant any plant, except of course, like we mentioned before, the albumin pearl and the sac venom. Why Hello Games did this, I think it's just to keep people from, making 10 different bases and having thousands and thousands upon different plants and making billions of units in, less than 30 minutes. But you can also, after you find the first little bit, you can buy them in space stations. The uranium, the ammonia, dioxide, emerald, phosphorus, stuff like that. Alright, makes it a lot easier to plan a whole bunch at once. Just go buy it once you've found a little bit. At the beginning in the base missions, you can't buy it unless, of course, you have enough money and you find some. But after that, you can just buy a bunch. So with these right here, these fungal molds, I bought all this. The ammonia to plant those. So that's that for farming. The recipes, though, for crafting, let me transfer this over here, are the exact same thing, though, as Atlas Rises. They take the same amount of selenium and frost crystal to make this heat capacitor, and living glass is the only one that is... Actually, I'm not sure. I can't quite remember what Atlas Rises. I thought in Atlas Rises it was 1 glass to make a living glass, and then lubricant. I can't quite remember. I think that changed, though. It's now 5 glasses to make a living glass. So, not as valuable as it was in Atlas Rises, I don't think, because you have to craft more glass now to get a living glass. So instead of getting 5 living glasses at 1 grow, you're getting 1. So that's a little bit different, but everything else is the same. If I were you, I would grow liquid explosives. That's my personal opinion, but that's what I would do, because the cactus flesh here is the only plant out of everything you pick up that gives you 100 of the resource instead of 50. So if you plant three of them, you're actually planting 6, because all the rest go 50. So for a liquid explosive, it takes acid and unstable gel. Unstable gel is cactus flesh, which does take 2 hours to grow. You get twice as much from it. So that's where I would go with those. And the acid is the fungal mold, and those grow in 30 minutes with Mordite, which is also quick. So that's what I would do. That's what I did in Atlas Rises, and I made a lot from that. All right, because you get 1 million from a liquid explosive. So pretty good. Okay, just a couple things left. Nanites. I failed to mention this last time. You can get nanites, obviously, from repairing the damage and broken technology and things like that, like the normal thing that it was before. But you also get nanites now from uploading your discoveries. Goes from 5 for an uncommon up to 15 or 20 for a rare. And you do get some for uploading planets and systems. Alright? So if you're on a planet you've never been to before, scan everything and upload it. And you could get about 50 to 60 nanites every single planet you visit. Or more if you stay there and scan everything, alright? Because nanites are really important now. I really liked how they incorporated that into the game now before, because before they weren't really necessary. I thought they were kind of useless. But, so yeah. And lastly, multiplayer. For those of you who want to do that. I do not. I could care less about multiplayer. That's just me, though. Simply go to, when you're in your own save already, simply push the pause button, go into network and voice, and you can turn it on or off. Off will make it so randoms can't join you. If you leave it on, anyone can join your game at any point in time. Except for friends. Friends have to be invited. And they can invite you. Or at the very beginning, before you load into your game, you can choose to join somebody's random game via a save you already have. Alright? If you guys have any more questions, feel free to comment and I'll do my best to answer them. But with all this information, I think you should be ready to go. So thanks for watching, guys. Take care.